and Charlie Hossack. We are Mike and the Hoss. Charlie, I'd ask you how you're doing like I usually do, but I know how you're doing today.
Do you?
It's snowing. So
How am I doing?
It's
yeah,
snowing.
I mean, it's funny. It's always snowing here.
I know how you feel when it snows.
It's always snowing in New Hampshire. This is how I... Oh, good. You had to make your little
Listen, you didn't.
gestures.
You weren't sounding very good.
Oh, I don't... Do I sound better now?
Now you do. So
All right.
it really it's all
so
about you.
You were looking out for me.
I was.
I appreciate that.
I was.
I hadn't adjusted my mic before the show. But I'm kind of at the point now. You know how I feel about winter. I don't like winter. It's the season of yuck.
Yep.
But every snowflake that falls now makes me nervous because I just want to get baseball season rolling. I want to get it rolling for Kingswood. I want to get it rolling for everyone. And this is snow that needs to melt before we get out there. And that frustrates me because baseball
It's still
season
February.
Listen, I don't care.
Okay.
The spring training has started for the Red Sox for Major League Baseball. I've switched completely to baseball mode.
Well, our show has too because we now have a baseball segment.
I know that, and I just feel like it needs to stop snowing. I know that we're moving into a vacation week here in New Hampshire. Massachusetts is finishing up their vacation week, and I just want snow to melt. That's what I want to happen.
I'm not sure if it's going to melt next week, but I don't think we're supposed to get any snow. I don't know if Eric, the weather guy, can tell us that. Are we supposed to get any snow next week? Oh, all
he
right.
just said yes.
Downer.
Debbie
Although he
Downer.
came in today.
I was preparing.
He came in through the snow today.
I know. Which actually, this is the other thing we should probably talk about. I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe page so that we could get Eric snow tires, so that he could make it here when there's a snowstorm. Because people being without Mike and the Hoss all week, it's been a struggle. What say you, Eric?
Well, it is a pandemic after all.
It is,
and it becomes a very convenient thing to blame the pandemic for.
That definitely.
So, yet another thing we can blame on COVID.
All right, you were staying safe from COVID by staying home.
Actually, at my house, we had half an inch of ice.
Oh yeah, it's not good. I'm glad. I understand. I'm glad. I don't want you traveling. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's awful. Hey, speaking of shipping out the car, did you see? There was it's going around. It's viral, but there was I think it was on Barstool, inside of a parking garage. There was a pipe that burst, and the water had frozen on top of a car. The whole thing was encapsulated in ice. You got to check it out sometime. Pretty funny.
Yeah,
At least we're prepared for this stuff.
Oh yeah, the poor
guys
people in Texas. Oh my goodness, and the whole power grid issue.
I mean,
and it's
what
just
a nightmare they have going on down there. They don't know what to do.
I know, and those poor people especially. I mean, I'm sure they're native Texan people, but anybody that moved down there didn't want to have to face ice and snow. And it's
one guy they interviewed. One guy from New Hampshire went down there to get away from the snow.
Oh my gosh, that poor guy.
Poor guy. They interviewed him on MUR. Like, oh geez,
that's terrible.
We're stacked today.
We got a lot.
Well, we didn't have the show Tuesday, so
we didn't. Yeah,
we kind of put a lot of things
trying to make up, and Eric's just going to have to suffer because there's no Eric's Wonders, this week. So he missed it because he had to stay home.
He is upset over there.
He is. I could tell that he's. Yeah, you'll get a good one next week.
We have information on Back Bay hockey, New England Wolves,
yep,
Abenaki ski races.
Wow.
Kingswood Sports Athlete of the Week.
It's crazy. We get so much to do
right across the board,
which is amazing.
And
we get some sound effects from Eric's phone.
Eric has changed his texting sound.
That's pretty wild.
All right, we also have our opening takes, which I know is your favorite part of the show.
Yeah, I like it.
It actually is mine too.
I know it is.
Do you want to go? Or do you want me to go?
No, go for it.
So it is baseball season. Well, we're getting into baseball season.
I feel it's baseball season.
We have a segment. We're gonna talk baseball movies today too.
Yeah,
that's a.
Did you pick? Did you do your homework?
I did my list.
All right, I'm just making sure.
I did my list,
and we're gonna share one of our listeners. I'm gonna share her list as well.
Oh, okay. All right. I've started to, and we've kind of joked about it a little bit, where we don't know any of the Red Sox players.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
And so as I've been spending a little bit more time looking at the Red Sox roster,
right,
and Googling every single player that they're signing because I've never heard of them before.
Right.
I started getting into the salary cap, and my take basically is that the Red Sox are not really that close to coming back here. Dave Dombrowski destroyed this organization.
Right.
I understand they won a World Series title, and
that's what he designs. You go in, you win it, and then he leaves.
But the cost of that was he destroyed this organization.
I agree.
They are this year right now. They're in the top 5 in terms of payroll, where you can't recognize 3/4 of the guys on the roster, but they're still in the top 5. Next year, they're right now in committed money. They're still in the top 8.
Wow.
And you can't recognize anybody on their lineup.
Right.
If the ones you recognize are on the disabled list for the most part.
Yeah.
And then it's the year after where, and you can see what Hein Bloom's trying to do. He's trying to clear out the payroll, clear out the bad contracts as much as he possibly can. But it's going to be 2 years. if you go by salary cap. If you go by salary cap and free money and all that sort of thing, they're at least 2 or 3 years away
to fully rebuild.
To fully be able to go out and get a named free agent, somebody that you actually heard of before.
Right.
They're making a lot of moves. Alex Cora came out and he said that he feels like they can compete this year. I think that's horse hockey.
I was going to
really
say
do.
Every manager's going to come out and say
well,
they can compete.
he has to. He can't come out and say that they're not going to be like Danny Ainge. Basically,
yeah, we'll get to that.
I think it's just going to be a patient rebuild.
I think so.
And it's from the ground up.
I think it's going to be challenging though for the fans because, I just think people in general are just kind of immediate. We want it now. And to have to suffer through 2 or 3 years of rebuilding is going to be painful.
Well, we're supposed to be a big market team,
right?
And the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets. Trying to think of other big market teams. I guess you
could say the Cubs.
Cubs, that would be a big market team. Right now, the Red Sox are projected to make the playoffs. 50% chance of making the playoffs, which I think is generous.
Which is crazy because and you look at some of the numbers. Some have them at 82 wins, some have them at 87 wins, and you're thinking like that's just a few games above 500.
But I don't know where those wins are coming from.
I don't know. They can't play Baltimore enough.
No, they're they're hiring they're signing left fielders who can't hit.
Yeah.
They're signing now. They signed the Mazza kid from Tampa, which was supposedly their number one catching prospect. I don't know what this does for the catching situation, but he's never played above able.
I was going to say it's a development for him. Yeah, they've got Vasquez back there for now.
But that signing actually is the first one that actually excited me.
Yeah,
is that it's a real legitimate prospect,
someone in the system that's going to be able to,
and also an asset.
Yeah.
It's an asset that maybe they can go and get a bigger name player. But these other guys, I've never heard of them.
Right.
And I'm relatively familiar with a lot of the baseball names.
I know you are.
But it scares me in just like what you were saying. Over the next couple of years, the Red Sox keep trotting out people that you've never heard of. Mm-hmm. What's this going to do to the fan base? Are they going to be able to stick around and root for this team, or are we going to start seeing empty seats at Fenway? Well, we're going to see empty seats at Fenway for a while anyway.
Oh, we are.
But
well, the thing, as you know, the thing about Fenway is there are never empty seats because corporations and businesses buy those seats, so there's never going to be an empty seat.
There used to be empty seats at Fenway.
You're right, but if you look let's use like the past 10 years, and granted, I know the Red Sox have been good. Fenway Park, even if you're not a Red Sox fan, that's a destination. People want to come here and go to Fenway Park. It's historic and say, oh yeah, check it out, and it's gorgeous and beautiful. And we should do a segment on Fenway, and I could tell you how I really feel about Fenway. But for the most part, people want to go to Fenway just to experience Fenway Park. I don't want to go to Fenway because I think Fenway smells primarily like urine, and I would prefer to go to places like Camden Yards and newer ballparks.
I love Fenway.
Yeah.
I love how unique it is. I love going to watch a game there unless I have an obstructed view or I'm in the right field bleachers.
I do like the bleachers.
The right field foul line area.
Yeah, right.
Where I'm facing
by the pesky pole,
and I'm facing the bullpen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those you get to see everybody warm up.
Those kinds of seats are a little annoying. I love the charm of Fenway.
Some of the magical, and how close you are.
And
too.
I think that Fenway will attract some. But when the Red Sox went into their tailspin and beer and chicken or whatever that was, in 11,
right?
They still had stars on their team.
Yeah, of course.
They still had big names on their team, and when they went down in last place, it was like 15, 16, give or take, in that area. They had recently come off the World Series, like they are now. They're still recently coming off the World Series, but they still had names they were trotting out there. They still had Mookie Betts going out there. They still had JBJ going out there.
Right.
Pedroia kind of was going out there at the time. Mm-hmm. Now you got Bogarts and you got Devers.
You got Devers and people like Christian Vasquez. I do too.
No.
I do. I like him.
It's fine, you like him, but I don't think people go to the games to watch him. I think people went to the games to watch Mookie Betts or David Ortiz or even Xander Bogaerts or Rafael Devers. I don't think Christian Vasquez
or Chris Sale.
Well, Chris Sale, who they just put on the 60-day DL.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Great interview with him last night. I was getting all feeling good, and then look at that on the DL. Great.
He overexerted himself in the interview.
Yeah.
So, all right, you're up.
So I kind of want to start feeling good about sports again, and I think this has to do a lot with our show because we have our list, our list with Kyrie Irving and David Price and,
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown, those that we that we don't like and are just not great people. So I just been looking around lately. You probably saw the news. Tim Tebow, and we know Tim Tebow from way back in his days at the University of Florida and winning the Heisman and all that stuff. He just recently retired from baseball, and people kind of mock him. I went to, just so you back up a little bit, just so you know, I went to see him play at Delta Dental, the Fisher Cats, when he was with the Rumble Ponies, and oh my gosh, just seeing Tim Tebow, he's a physical specimen. He looks like an athlete, he moves like an athlete, and he's just an all-around good guy. Like, you know, you yell, "Hey Tim," and he like waved and stuff. He interacted with the kids and all that stuff. Just a good human being. And yeah, so he wasn't good enough to make the MLB. He made it all the way up as high as AAA. He played in the NFL, and he has a great organization. He does for students with or kids with special needs. He does the prom thing, so the kids can experience the prom. He's got his foundation, and I just feel like he's a great role model for the youth of today, for the athletes of today, and he just does good things for humankind.
That's unique.
Well, I'm going to say it is unique, and people are like, well, you know, so and so has this foundation. I get it, but just something about him. I've always liked Tim Tebow. You know, people complain about, okay, he can't throw the ball. Well, he wasn't built for that. He was built almost like a fullback, and he was, you know, doing the read option, and he was running the ball in college, and he wasn't going to be successful in the NFL. But he's just someone that I think people need to spend a little more time looking up to.
I'm not a Tim Tebow hater by any means.
Sure.
And I agree with everything you're saying. Something I admire about Tim Tebow is he stayed true to himself.
Yes.
As he became more of a celebrity, and his celebrity started his sophomore year in Florida.
At college, yeah, right.
And as he became more of a celebrity, he didn't change who he was. If anyway, it accelerated it, and he accentuated who he was. He is a very, very Christian person.
Sure.
And he's not afraid to share that.
No.
Stardom didn't change that for him.
No.
Stardom didn't change how he treated other people. And he really did seem to stay true to himself. But I think that should be admired.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's a lesson for this day and age for the kids or adults for that matter,
exactly,
it's staying true to yourself.
What are your thoughts about this before we go to break? I think he retired from baseball, obviously, because I didn't think he was going to make the MLB, and he recognized that. I think he's going to go coach with Urban Meyer. I think he's going to Jacksonville.
Well, before we get to that, do you think he got a fair shot in the NFL?
I don't know. I mean, from a football perspective, he certainly had some deficiencies. I think Tim Tebow could have become a great tight end. I think if he had changed positions, I think he would have been an exceptional football player.
The New England Patriots played a whole season with a quarterback that couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards.
I know.
And couldn't throw a screen pass.
Right.
Couldn't they have done that with Tim Tebow?
Yeah, I think Tebow is definitely better than Cam Newton of last year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so I don't think he got a fair shot. Yeah. And I don't think he was ever able to get into an offense. When he was in Denver and they beat Pittsburgh in that upset.
Yeah, they got
game,
he won in the playoff game.
They started to design their offense around Tebow and what he did well.
Right.
And they won. I mean, they got smoked when they came to New England, but New England was a juggernaut then, and
right.
so that wasn't going to happen. I don't think he got a fair shot. I guess we could talk about that another time, but he is someone that, in the right offense, I think. I mean, he did it in Florida.
Yeah,
he
sure did.
He was great. I know college football is different than professional football, but
he did it twice.
He was able to throw the ball in Florida.
A little bit.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Mike and the Hoss.
Hey,
right.
We have a guest that's calling in. He's on the line right now. It's Back Bay's Do Everything guy.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
Bay Hockey's Do Everything guy. Chuck Smith is with us. Chuck, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Chuck. Thanks for joining us. So the story goes. Chuck had sent me some information about Back Bay Hockey to promote, and I said, well, it's about time we have Chuck call in because he is Back Bay's Do Everything.
He knows
guy.
everything about.
Knows
Back
everything
Bay.
about Back Bay.
He knows everything about pretty much everything.
That is true. That is true. All right, so Chuck, we brought you on so you could talk to us about what Back Bay offers and to share what Back Bay Hockey is, and really kind of promote it. Let's hear about what Back Bay's doing.
So, right now with COVID, we're trying to get everybody to play, which is finally taking shape. We offer most of the teams mites, squirts, Pee-wees, Bantams. We got 2 girls teams now, at least 3 practices a week, and then your game Saturday, Sunday. This year was kind of too bad. We usually have the high school out there with the learner skaters and learner players, but with the COVID going on, that didn't happen. But we are starting learn to skate this weekend with our own coaches, and that'll run until the 20th of March. And then, let's see here, in 2 weeks, actually less than that, about 10 days, we'll start our tryouts for the next season.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Chuck, so one of the things that I share about Back Bay is that it's one of the few local organizations that are still around in New Hampshire, as everything seems to have gone much more to a regional, for-profit programs, which makes it difficult for Back Bay to offer as much as it does, but it still does. And we've had some success. And there's a few banners that are hanging up on the wall. There's my boys enjoyed Back Bay immensely, enjoyed playing locally. And how do you navigate the changing landscape of the hockey community, where these big programs, these for-profit programs are happening, and trying to get Back Bay to still maintain, to keep its players and keep going forward?
Well, I think we try to we really try to be in touch with the community and what we can offer them to stay local and at least compete with most of the teams in the area. As there's all sorts of different tiers, and with like the upper guys, the Tier 1 guys, now not playing Tier 1, bumping down to Tier 2, it makes it a little tougher for us to play. So we're playing some more Tier 4 than usual, instead of our Tier 3 teams that go to the regionals. We still try to keep the prices low enough where the families in town can afford it and not have to travel down to Dover, down to Manchester or Concord, to keep these local kids here and keep them focused. That way we can, teach them what they need to know and get them into the high school program.
Chuck, I just wanted to thank you, first of all, as a parent of a high school player who plays on the girls hockey team. I know that you guys stepped up, Back Bay stepped up when winter sports had canceled with Kingswood, and you guys were going to put together a team for the boys and the girls. So first off, thank you guys for doing that. But the other thing that really excites me is you mentioned that you have a couple of girls teams. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about the girls teams and how that came about? Is this new, or is this something you've had in the past?
Well, it's something we've had in the past. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, there was a few guys that had some daughters playing, and it started then, and then it kind of petered out a little bit. But it's regrouped with some more girls coming in. Probably 30% of our players right now are girls, with more coming in. So we could anticipate 3 girls teams next year, a 10U, a 12U, and a 14U.
That's exciting.
And it's a lot of it's the coaches of the girls' parents that are really taking the step to promote the girls in the area. And we're getting more and more kids coming from Alton and Middleton. So this year, I think, without having the high school teams play at Back Bay this year, I think our total player numbers are around 110, 115, which is pretty good for us.
That is good numbers, because I served on that board for a few years anyway, and not on the board. I was on development, but I remember our numbers were not anywhere near there. I thought we were like in the 70 or 80 mark, for those years. So the program's obviously growing, and I say the program, the boys and the girls are growing. What are some goals that Back Bay has, long term, as we move forward?
Well, I think the biggest goal that Back Bay as an organization has is to get the rink redone. It's getting close. We've been down at that area since 1985, before the roof went on. And as you know, you guys have been in there, it's cold. And if we can get that rink redone and get it a little warmer, we can attract some more players. And that's one of our bigger goals. And some of the secondary goals, we're trying to get some better coaches in the area in. There's different people moving in that have played some D1 college hockey. We got a couple coaches at the mite and squirt level that played at that level. And that makes the kids better.
Chuck, what has to happen to get the rink improved? What do you guys need to make happen?
Well, if when people go and vote this year, there's 2 warrant articles that they need to vote for. One is to allocate $125,000 for engineering for the rink, and the other one would be to take the rink off of an enterprise fund, which is supposed to be self-sustaining. The rink is supposed to be able to make enough money to self-sustain, but with the recent, increase of cost of utilities, the COVID situation, the idea is to take it from there and put the rink under the general fund of the town, so they can build like a capital gain program to redo the roof and insulate the walls and put dehumidification in, and that would make that rink more of like an 7 to 8 month arena, which we desperately need. Because as you know, we don't start playing really till the end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah,
and
so
everybody else around us has been started for at least a month and a half.
right. So Chuck, that would allow us to just pretty much take the summers off and be able to almost offer year-round hockey.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
That's exciting. So that's the warrant articles are coming up, and is that for just primarily Wolfeboro residents, or is this the entire area?
I think it's just Wolfeboro residents.
Okay, so Wolfeboro residents, we want to ask them to support this. You're supporting not only the rink, but more importantly, you're supporting the youth that use that rink for hockey, from little kids all the way up to high school players, and that's going to just benefit the community as a whole.
And some adult leagues.
Yeah, definitely the adult leagues. I forgot about those. So, Chuck, really appreciate you calling and giving us insight into Back Bay. I hope you become a regular caller. We love hearing from you, and we definitely want to continue to support your organization. And we thank you and all of your coaches for everything that you've done.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Chuck.
you letting me on.
All right,
Take
take
care.
care.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you. Thank you. Bye.
So that was long overdue. I'm
Yeah.
glad that he was able to get some stuff in that what we need at Back Bay to happen.
Yeah, it's funny because we talk about the rink, and it's you freeze to death in there if you're not playing.
It's known as the coldest rink in the state.
Yeah.
And friggin' Oyster River has an outdoor rink, and we're still the coldest
I
rink
know,
in the state.
and all the coaches that come, because sometimes I'll work the penalty box, or I'm doing the game clock or whatever, and all the coaches are complaining to me. It's so cold. They joke with me, turn on the heat. So we it's time to do something. And Wolfeboro residents, please vote and support our youth and Back Bay hockey.
All right. So,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to? Obviously we got some Kingswood stuff to do, but I think we should do our athletes of the week before we head to
I agree.
break. So you are up, my friend.
Yeah, I am up because you know that I'm not currently prepared. So
Do you want me to?
I've got all sorts of paper here.
You want me to? I'll do our
Yeah,
female
why don't you do our
athlete.
female?
So our female athlete of the week for Kingswood is Abby Heald. Abby has been pushing herself to take chances and improve her skiing skills. At the state meet, she showed her competitive spirit by charging hard out of the starting gate and skiing aggressively all the way down the course during all her runs. She was the key 4th point scorer at the state meet, where she had her best ski runs all year. Congratulations, Abby.
Our male athlete of the week happened to be on our show last Friday. So our male athlete of the week is Andrew Cray. Andrew Cray, for being the top scorer in the unified basketball game, his effort and enthusiasm to get baskets was encouraging for the rest of his teammates. I know that he's hoping to get a 3-pointer at some point. Maybe that happened. But Andrew, I just want to give you a quick shout out. Thank you so much for being on the Mike and the Hoss show. We really enjoyed you. I know that the station manager, Eric Scott, enjoyed having you here. But congratulations on earning the distinction of Athlete of the Week. So congratulations to Andrew Cray and to
congratulations to Abby Heald.
Absolutely,
Way to
Abby
go,
Hill.
guys.
Go ahead.
Girls basketball. So Coach Gary Bedian reached out about the girls' season so far, and they're still looking for their first win as of when unless they got one in the past couple days. But as of right now, they're looking for their first win. Basically, he's saying it's a combination of turnovers and poor shooting. He thinks the girls need to shoot a little bit better. But he says not all is lost. The girls continue to work hard, and they're competing in their games. Katie Shannon leads the team in offensive scoring. Brooke Eldridge leads the team in rebounds, and Camden Hobbs is tied for second in scoring.
Wow.
So best of luck to the girls moving forward. The boys basketball team
won their first 2 games.
Yeah.
They beat Plymouth this week.
Good for them.
I know in the first game, Ethan Arnold and Brogan Shannon
Each scored
led
17
points.
Yeah. Carter Morrissey came in with 11.
Yeah, I saw Carter this morning.
Nice.
He's actually filled me in about the second game.
Oh, good.
But next week we're going to talk playoff previews.
Yeah, so they already have, we'll do this next week, but they have the playoff brackets out for boys basketball and girls basketball, so we can fill people in because it'll happen the week after school vacation, first week of March.
All right.
So, which is exciting. I mean, so it's an open tournament. Everybody's making the playoffs, and maybe Kingswood's going to get to host. So this could be exciting.
Well, there's a good chance it might
Yep.
host.
And there's going to be, obviously, by then we might even know hockey brackets as well.
Well, let's talk hockey real quick. Both the boys and the girls were off this week.
Yeah.
The boys played this past, because we didn't have a show on Tuesday, but the boys played this past Saturday.
Oh, another dig at Eric.
I gave him a look. We lost to Berlin,
Yep.
but we're playing better. We are playing better.
I agree.
And it's close. We have 3 games next week against Belmont Guilford.
Good.
The first one is Monday at home, so 8 o'clock.
It's a late, yeah.
You
it's
can't
good.
go to the game,
No,
but maybe you can catch it on Live Barn.
definitely.
We're going to get some wins.
I
next
thought
week.
you. So
we're,
I was.
We're going to get some wins next week.
Yeah, I was at the Berlin game, the second one, the home game, working the penalty box. You guys played an amazing first period. It was just unbelievable. And you definitely could see how you guys are continuing to improve.
Every practice right now, and Coach Potenza, would obviously second this because he tells the kids every time we practice that every practice we're getting better and better.
Right.
And they're bringing so much intensity to these practices that if we match that intensity in these games, Belmont Guilford's not going to know what hit them.
Good.
It's
Good.
going to.
And you get 3 games again.
So we got three games against Belmont Guilford, kind of like a series.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, 2 at home.
Yeah.
1 over there.
All right.
So pretty excited. But
That's
I think
good.
the Kingswood boys are going to get in the win column this week.
Yeah, awesome. And the girls are hosting on Wednesday night. They have a game coming up against Keene, so that'll be a home game, which will be exciting. And that's a late one on Wednesday. Once again, you pick it up on Live Barn. But I know the girls are excited, and they've been haven't had a lot of. Obviously, they were off this week, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure why they were off this week, but next week they're back on, and just looking forward to continuing to improve. And why not? Let's get excited. Playoffs are coming. Open tournament, and I think anything can happen. All right.
Let's talk Celtics. I was going to say it was a roller coaster, but it was certainly much less of a roller coaster. When we were writing our show on Tuesday, for the show on Tuesday.
Yes. The show on Tuesday didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It's sad.
We're not looking over at it.
No, I'm not looking at it. Eric's he's gonna shut our mics off.
All right, Celtics. Your Celtics.
Yeah.
Your
500 Celtics.
Your 500 Celtics. Also, your Eastern Conference Finals champion Celtics. Your NBA Finals Celtics.
I didn't say the NBA Finals champion. But
no, you said NBA Finals.
Yeah, making the finals.
NBA.
Yeah.
So Eastern Conference champion.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we had that right.
I know. I'm glad we kind of
They have lost to my line here was holy crapola.
Yeah.
And that was before they lost to Atlanta.
I did see that. Yeah.
They have lost to Atlanta, bad. Washington, bad. Detroit twice, real bad. And then they come back and they beat the Denver team, who's one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah. So,
do you have any comments about your Celtics team?
I've got a lot of comments. All right. They're 14-14. They're 500. They're 5th place in the East. And yes, I have concerns. All right, I said it. I have concerns.
Not just you.
I know. Danny Ainge, the general manager, has concerns about these Celtics, and he actually told the Boston Globe the Celtics are not good and don't have all the pieces in place to win a title. And my question for you. And we know what they need. I mean, they need a big man. They need a lot of things.
They need more than that.
I know they do, but we were kind of stuck on the big man thing. Is it time for them to go after our friend Al Horford? Could he come back and make a difference? Could we get rid of maybe Tristan Thompson, maybe some first or second round picks?
If this would have been a team that needed one piece, a team that's in second place that needed something to get over the top, then I'd say this team needs a lot more than Al Horford.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm surprised that Ainge came out and said this. We're 28 games in, because at the beginning of the year he thought this was a championship team.
Yeah.
They are far from a championship team, and they've got some real problems. I think it's more of a problem that they lost to those 3 teams and beat Atlanta than if they would have lost to all 4, because this team has some mental issues where they turn it on and then turn it off,
which is scary.
And this kind of goes back to what I've been telling you for a while, that they think they're better than they are.
Right.
And they don't feel like they have to go out and work against these lesser teams.
And then it shows in the loss column.
In the loss column. And they have the ability to go out and beat better teams, but they don't show up these games. And it's bad. They don't move the ball. It's a lot of isolation ball, which we've complained about before.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. Who do we blame? Are we finally at the point where we're putting it on Brad Stevens?
I'm putting it on Brad Stevens.
Yeah, now it's kind of moved to the coach.
How else? Who else would you blame? Do they have the talent to be better than a fifth place team?
Yes.
If you read Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, any of their Twitter stuff, they're the best that's ever walked in Boston.
Right.
I mean, they really are. There's nothing like them. So there seems to be enough talent there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing for the coach. They've tuned him out. They're not listening to Brad Stevens. And that's just, it's time. It's time. And I like Brad Stevens.
I like him a lot.
I really do, and it makes me sad that this was the case. But this team needs a shakeup. I'm afraid that they're going to get rid of one of their top two guys in Brown or Tatum.
Yeah, they can't do that.
I think it's on the table.
It's going to happen. Yeah, of course
I think it's on the table because they're getting an Al Horford will make a difference, but it's not going to make a huge difference.
Won't push him over. Yeah.
This path that the Celtics have gone on, which has been going on for 5 or 6 years,
right.
It's not getting him there. It's not getting him over top to that elite talent.
I agree with that.
And they're going to have to do something different, and they're going to have to do something drastic. I think it's going to be a major trade. It's going to need a coaching change. I think Ainge is fine. I think Ainge is going to be there forever. But
do you think there's going to be a coaching change though in the middle of the season, or is this? Do you think we're just that? Do you think Ainge has said, okay, we're probably not going to be able to compete this year? Or do you think he's still willing to say, okay, I'm going to try to get a big name. I'm going to try to change what's happening right now, and I'm going to see if the Celtics can compete.
First of all, I think he did that as a last-ditch move to wake up his team.
Try to motivate them.
Yes.
That's his way to motivate.
Do I think he fully believes it? Probably not. I probably think that because it's his fingerprints all over this team.
Obviously.
So I think he thinks that the talent's there. He's trying to wake them up. But there's something wrong with this locker room.
Yeah.
There was something wrong in the fall when they were in the playoffs, or what is it, summer, or whatever they played the NBA Finals. It's COVID. My seasons are all messed up.
I know.
There's something wrong with this team, and I believe that it's more than just talent. I believe it might not even be talent. It might be just the inner workings of what's going on in that locker room. Who's the leader of that team? Who's the leader of this team?
I mean, Marcus Smart thinks he's the leader of this team.
So does
Jason Tatum. I don't think Jaylen Brown thinks it, and maybe Jaylen Brown should be.
He should be. He's the one who speaks at the end of these games when they play horrific and calls his own team out.
Yeah, and I know Kemba Walker's having a miserable season, but where is he? He's not saying a whole lot.
I haven't heard from him at all.
No.
All right, it's baseball season.
Yeah.
We're gonna skip over the Bruins. We'll hit the Bruins next.
We'll hit them.
Next week.
They're first place. They're doing well. Second place.
I'm not really.
Well, they're second place.
I'm not as high on them as I was.
Yeah.
They're starting not to play as well.
All right.
I think the Celtics are rubbing off on them.
Oh boy. Well, we'll talk about them on Tuesday.
We went over the Red Sox projected starting lineup.
We did
last week.
Yeah.
And we said we were going to save the pitchers. And so let's talk about the pitchers and what the pitchers are today. Could change tomorrow. The way they sign right now, it's just
you just never know.
It's crazy. But the starting rotation, I think, can be good if they all have career years.
Yeah,
that's one of those.
Right.
The potential's there, and I feel like that's what we're dealing with here is a potential thing. So, Eduardo Rodriguez.
So Erod, yeah,
had COVID.
Yep, and he hasn't fully recovered.
He has not recovered.
No.
Would you say, and this is not an insult for him, but he tends to be on the injury list an awful lot.
Yeah.
Is he soft?
Yeah, I think he's soft. I don't think it has anything to do with COVID. I just think he's soft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you trust him?
No, I can't trust him.
All
if
right.
he's on, he's awesome, but no, you can't trust him.
All right, so that's one. Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah.
He's signed a couple years ago.
He likes to spend time injured.
Relatively big contract.
Yeah.
Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
Not when he was Sox before we got to the Red Sox. Ended up on the DL last year. That's his thing.
You can't trust him.
Can't trust him either?
No.
All right, so we're 2 for 2. Martin Perez. They brought him back.
Yeah.
He pitched very well for the Red Sox last year. He was one of their only bright spots that they had.
He was. So hopefully he's going to carry that into this season.
He left free agency. He left or something like that. Or they.
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know how that happened. I don't know how they got him
But he's back. Yeah.
He's back. Feel good about him.
Yeah.
Where would you put him in as far as 1 through 6 in your pitching rotation? Even though I know it's a 5-man rotation, but they have 6 guys.
I mean, based on what the Sox have, he's probably a 3.
A 3? Okay. Garrett Richards.
Yeah. It's not moving the needle for me.
All right, Tanner Houck.
Well, I've heard really good things about Tanner Houck, so I'm cautiously optimistic with that.
Okay.
So I think he has the potential.
Okay. Chris Sale.
Well, obviously we know how good Chris Sale is, but Chris Sale is always injured, still injured.
Chris
you
Sale's
just never
not
know.
giving
He is.
anything
I mean,
this year.
the guy's a toothpick, and he breaks down before you even get to
I'd be
get
surprised.
to the
I'd be surprised
fall.
if he pitched this year. I
Yeah.
really would. I could see them being 15 games out come the All-Star break, and Sale's supposed to come back, and they're going to say, no, just strengthen it,
Yeah.
and don't come back this year. That contract's not looking really good. Bullpen. Some names, familiar names. Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
We've seen him before. Adam Ottavino.
Yeah, and
we
they
talked
just
about him.
signed him. Yeah.
Darwinson Hernandez.
Darwinson Hernandez. Yeah.
Josh Taylor.
Mhm.
Ryan Brazier.
Yeah.
Phillips Valdez, Nick Pivetta, and probably what everybody's most excited about, at least in Red Sox world, is Hirokazu Sarumua.
Yeah.
And I
butchered
that. I butchered
I know.
that name.
So Japanese player.
Yeah.
Which
a
is
lot of hype.
which is exciting.
Much smaller contract than like a Dice K or even a Koji
Oh,
at the
Dice.
time.
That's you're going throwback there, Dice K.
But it's a chance. But this guy's a hard thrower.
yeah. He's
had
had success
He's had
in Japan.
success, yeah.
So
okay, let's summarize this whole thing. How do you feel about the pitching staff?
I feel like they're gonna be like 82 wins this season total. Sorry, I'm not overly excited.
No, I have a feeling that half of these guys won't be here at the end of the year.
Oh, I agree with you.
I think it's just
some of
gonna
them
be-
may not even get out of spring training.
I just think it's going to be one of those seasons where they're just turning over the roster left and right as the year goes on, trying to shed contract,
Right.
get a prospect here, get a prospect there, especially in the bullpen. I could see them dealing it to teams that are in contention.
Yeah.
And we need a pick, we need a prospect, we need a pick, we need a prospect to build up the farm system. I think that's what this year is going to be.
I agree.
All right. Baseball movie time.
Oh, baseball movie time. So we are going to select our top 10 baseball movies, and we have a listener. Can I start with her?
Yeah, go.
Our listener Jessica and her daughter put together their top 10 list. So number 1 was A League of Their Own. Number 2 was Field of Dreams. Number 3 was The Sandlot. Number 4 was 61. Number 5 was Rookie of the Year. That was her daughter Mia's pick. 42 was number 6. Number 7 was Major League. Number 8 was The Rookie. Number 9 was Moneyball, and number 10 was Hardball. So
Okay.
all good movies, and some different ones there. There was an asterisk next to 61, and that was I obviously put out for the chase with McGuire and Sosa and all that. I have not seen it, so that's on my list to see. Have you seen it?
I saw 61. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
I want to watch it.
It's not on my list.
It's not on your list, but
No,
if it's on
it's not on my
someone's
list.
list, there's some probably
Okay.
redeeming qualities.
All right.
Do you want to do your list first?
Well, I thought we'd go one at a time. Or do you
Yeah,
wanna,
no, that's fine.
Do you
I
wanna
don't-
go- You want to start
however,
from?
listen,
you want to start from the
However
the
you want to
10th
do it.
spot
Let's
or
let's
the first spot.
Oh, you always want to start with 10,
Okay.
like the top 10 list, like David Letterman used to do, right?
Okay. All right. What's your
All right.
number? What's your number 10?
My number 10 is A League of Their Own. Good movie. I enjoyed it.
Good movie. Tom Hanks, Madonna.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
man, love Madonna.
Yeah, she was good in that.
Woo, good songs. What's your favorite Madonna song? Do you have a favorite Madonna song?
Like a Virgin.
Yeah, that's the only Madonna.
It was. It was. That's the only one I could come think of right
all right,
now.
go ahead. What's your number 10?
Rookie of the Year.
Ah, good movie.
It cracks me up. That's
Yeah.
one I remember watching with my boys when they were young, and the kid breaks his arm,
Yeah.
and he could throw the ball 110 miles an hour, and everybody's at the end when his arm heals and he doesn't have the 110 mile an hour fastball, he still manages to get the guy out.
He still gets
He plays for the Cubs. and
Yeah.
it cracks me up.
Good.
All right, number 9.
Number 9 for me is Major League.
Oh, very good.
That's a great movie.
It's on my list.
Yep.
Major
And
League's on my list.
makes me smile. What's your number 9?
42.
Oh man, 42's on my list.
Yep, 42
Great,
is
great movie.
good movie. Harrison Ford in
Yeah.
that one.
So good.
Awesome job.
Yeah.
He played Branch Rickey,
Yeah.
and
And it was
just a
it
real
was so
memorable.
cool because he was able to kind of transition from his Star Wars
Yeah.
role and
Oh,
just
loved him in
did
that.
an amazing job.
Okay, number 8.
Number 8 for me is are we at 8? Yeah.
That comes after 9.
The
Yeah.
Rookie. The Rookie.
Okay. Love The Rookie. I have that a little higher on the list.
Okay.
I am the Bad News Bears.
Oh man, that's on my list.
Original.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the original back with the
original.
70s.
Yeah, the Walter Matthau. And that version.
Such a good movie.
That just I can't get enough of the Bad News Bears.
I
it's
agree
not on
with
TV enough because they remade it, and so you get the newer versions.
I don't like the newer version. The original.
That's a Tatum O'Neal, I think, was.
Really?
Yeah, I think that she was in that. Okay. Next one.
I have The Natural.
Major League.
Okay. So is Natural on your list?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Natural's pretty high on my list.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Bull Durham.
I'm right on same
spot.
Bull Durham. We agree on something finally.
Do you, when Bull Durham's on, if you're flicking through the television, do you there's a Bull Durham scene on? Is there any particular scene that you stop and watch if you run into it?
I don't have one. Do you? What is your?
Well, I have a couple.
Okay.
One is when Kevin Costner fights, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
With Luke Lelouch or whatever his name is at the bar, and he says, "Hit me meat with the ball." He says, "You can't hit him." He throws the ball through the glass. Yeah. That's one. And then when he tells the batter what pitch is coming.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. After Bull Durham.
So I have Bad News Bears.
I have The Rookie.
Okay. So we agree. We're in the top
Rookie,
10 there.
True story.
Yep.
That's good, especially.
It's a feel good story.
It's really feel good. That one, I get some tears in my eyes on that one for some reason. What's your next one?
42.
Moneyball.
Yeah, Moneyball's on my list.
Yeah,
Moneyball's my next one.
We talked about that last week a little bit.
Do you still do it in class? Do you still do Moneyball?
Haven't done it for a couple years.
Okay.
But I was saying that we, as a math teacher, we do a unit on statistics, and we end it with Moneyball and about how that changed the game. We've spent some time. You and I spent probably multiple times talking about Moneyball and
obviously,
all
the analytics and all that.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of feedback from the Moneyball unit that you used to do, the kids loved it. They always talk about it, and now that they're older, but that was always a fun assignment that you had in KRMS.
They just liked watching a movie.
They still had to do a lot of work with that.
They did.
Yeah.
They really did. All right, what's next?
I have The Sandlot.
No, you have Moneyball.
Oh, I have Moneyball. I had Moneyball. Oh,
I had Moneyball.
What number are we on?
Well,
I probably should have numbered these.
We're on 3.
No, my number 3 is Moneyball.
Okay, my number 3 is Sandlot.
Okay, sorry.
We're getting narrowing it down.
Yeah,
all right.
we are. And my number 2 is Sandlot. The Sandlot is great. Obviously, my kids love it. It's a good family movie. It's wholesome, and I can watch it, multiple times. I'm not a guy, just so you know, and I don't usually rewatch movies. I'm just not that type of person. But I can rewatch The Sandlot.
I can watch The Sandlot, and The Sandlot is one of those movies that'll be around for 100 years. The original, it'll be around for 100 years because it's pure.
Yeah.
It's just pure backyard, go to the park baseball.
Yeah. And that's what
hopefully
we did.
You have a ball.
Yeah, that's what we did growing up.
Yep.
And trying to instill that on our youth of today. All right, what do you got? What number are we at? You're the math guy.
We're on number 2.
Number 2. So the number 2 I already said is The Sandlot.
And I have The Natural.
The Natural.
The Natural. Yeah, your Natural was down. The Natural for me, I don't know. It's a great story. I think Robert Redford was fantastic in it. It brings in different parts of baseball, the corruption of baseball.
Right.
Especially back in the 40s in that kind of that era.
Yeah.
But there's also a feel good, Bobby, get me a new one. When he breaks his bat.
We got a text from Coach Skelly. Coach Skelly said that his number 1 is The Natural.
Okay.
So it's pretty high up there.
That's for him and I to agree as close as that.
I know he may be changing his mind right now.
I'm sure another text is going to be coming in here in a second. All right,
Probably.
number 1.
Number 1 for me is Field of Dreams.
Number 1 for me is Field of Dreams.
Oh.
And my wife is home being happy that I said that.
Yeah, because it was the first date.
Yeah, first date.
Maybe the 3 of us should all watch it together.
That would be like 3's a crowd.
Yeah, we'll invite Michelle as well. We'll all watch the Field of Dreams.
Let's have Michelle join us just to make it not weird.
That'll be good.
All right. Thank you very much, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Yep. Take care.
Have a good weekend.